Okay, hold on. Considering I'm a water dragon, if I could spit water like a freaking Pokemon, would that be gross to drink that?
Yes!
No.
Yes! Listen, when water enters your body, it does not leave as water. It leaves as other stuff. You're not spitting water. You're spitting other stuff.
But the thing is, it's not like... Pokemon are just weird, okay? It's pure clean water, and
I highly doubt that.
It's not like it's water that I drink and have been holding in like some sack or anything. It's like literally magically produced, and I just go to...
Like, magically produced in your mouth. That is half water, half dragon saliva.
That's fine. It's mostly water, though.
I swear to God, there's an episode where they actually drink from Squirtle like a water fountain. So I think they do it in the show.
Oh, God.
It's hilarious.
It's disgusting. All of y'all disgusting.
Welcome, listeners, to the World of Dragons podcast. The podcast where we take media with dragons or other monstrous, non-human entities, review it, and then discuss it. I am Ray.
I am Bantam.
And I am Dilatan.
So this week we are reviewing a game on Steam that came out relatively recently. It's called The Mystery of Caketropolis. It was made by Afik Sarati. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. So, to start out, the general story, its writing, its pacing, and all of that. How do we all feel?
Personally, I was kind of surprised by the tone of the story, considering Afik's past artwork, because I followed him when he was doing stuff like Dragon Daycare and those silly, wholesome comics with dragons. And when I went into this, I was expecting something of the same caliber, just kind of general silliness. But it was surprisingly serious, and the ending really caught me off guard.
I mean, it was still full of wholesome shenanigans, though.
Yeah, but that was kind of the side. I was expecting that to be the main focus.
Imagine having a story where nothing but shenanigans happen. No substance. 0 out of 10 to 10.
I mean, it can happen. Put it in a random generator.
I did actually really like the story. It actually got some emotion out of me. Not sad, but mostly anger. Which, when a story can make me very, very angry, that's usually a sign of a good story, I guess, for me.
That's good news for my D&D game.
I didn't get angry, but I did get sad towards the end.
Feels are good.
No, feels are evil.
You didn't get angry at the way humans were treating dragons in the game at all?
No, because Dilla tends to shoot it that way all the time.
No, hold on now. Let's not start throwing shade everywhere.
So you like
first
getting...
off, no, both of y'all hush. I am treated with respect. Actually, no, they bow before me.
So if a crowd of farmers with shotguns surrounded you, you'd be like, you wouldn't be upset?
No, I actually think he would act exactly like the main character acted.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
No, hold on. See, I know those farmers with shotguns. I have been with those peers. I've spent many years amongst their people. I know how to correctly debate my way out of such a situation.
Yes, but have you considered not shooting me?
It's a thought. I didn't get angry per se at the dragons being treated as pets. It's something I kind of expected out of it. When I first heard the term shepherd, I was like, okay, this is where this is going. So I kind of accepted it.
Yeah, and understanding his previous work, like you said, with his comics and all that, the dragons that he used to draw were very, I guess, pet-like. I don't know.
Well, one of them evolved the two dragons raising a wolf, and one of the dragons basically acted like a dog the entire time. So it's fitting with his style.
Okay, I actually do remember the Adopted the Wolf comic, and that was actually pretty adorable.
Yeah, that was Dragon Daycare.
So I went into this game not really fully knowing his history with artwork, but my God, the cutscenes when they show the drawn animation, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so the game is sprite-based. It was built in either RPG Maker or something very similar. The sprites are all very... I don't want to say cartoony, because I call everything cartoony, apparently. But they're very simple, as sprites are supposed to be. But then when you get into cutscene moments, you get a full-screen black and white sepia art. which is very, very well done. I love the way he draws the dragons, honestly.
Yeah. When it comes to RPG Maker games, you only ever get pixelated, kind of cartoony style with most of the sprites. There's no real avoiding that kind of style.
Well, the thing is, I've seen sprite artwork before, and there have been a couple games out there that have used sprites where there's just way too many pixels that it's not even fair calling it a sprite game at that point. And you might as well just take in a normal picture, put it through a filter to just slightly pixelate it, and said, look, sprites. It's like when people to me, when people want to advertise this game as being sprite-based, I feel like it needs to be at max 16-bit.
Oh, you think it's too many bits?
Too many bits. It loses some of its charm of being a sprite game if there's too many bits.
I'll agree. Yeah, there have been some games I played, like side-scrolling beat-em-ups or something, where they are very obviously pixel-based, but they're so fluid, and it's probably like several hundred frames of animation just for like running and jumping that it doesn't.
And there should have been 3.
Yeah,
there needs to be only 3 frames.
We've come a long way since Mario.
I mean, but that's the style they're trying to replicate to when they claim it's an old style sprite game. So replicate it.
No, I think this game did it perfectly though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember at one point I was teasing how when the dragon characters walk to the side, it's a side view of the dragon, but when they walk up and down, it's an aerial top-down view of the dragon. I thought that was kind of funny, but then I sat and I thought, I'm like, wait, how else would you draw it, though?
Yeah, because if they were staring up or staring at the camera, they'd be like at a complete 180 degree, just staring at the sky.
Yeah.
That really makes sense.
Or staring at the ground.
I don't know. I guess you whatever. It's not important. The music, though, was great. I loved the music.
Oh yeah, the music was fantastic.
Most of it was good. I don't like the sneaking part, though.
The gameplay or the music of the sneaking part?
Both.
Oh, the music for the sneaking part was good.
Yeah,
though.
No, the guitar riff for the gas area, that was my favorite.
Yeah, that one was a really good song. I liked all the music. I will concur with Dilatan that I did not like the sneaking section. That's just a limitation of the engine. The fact that the NPCs just suddenly flip 180 degrees and do it in one frame, it made sneaking incredibly difficult. I ended up save scumming.
There's no such thing as turn animations in a sprite game.
I mean, that's not true. They can turn to, like, if they're facing south, they can turn east or west, then turn north instead of just going boop and turning around.
Oh, did some of them actually about face?
Yes, the last one before you leave that map zone, about faces. He just looks north and south, back and forth, and that one was annoying as hell.
Oh, speaking of design choice, not to have fog-tinted flashlights in a fog-based area. I couldn't tell half the time where those cones were until I actually started focusing.
I mean, it wasn't that hard to notice, but I definitely just played it overly cautious with just staying as far away as I could get away with.
Yeah, and to all game developers who are thinking of doing an RPG Maker, best to avoid diagonal turns or diagonal hallways or directions of any kind. Stick to 90-degree angles.
Oh, yeah. Having to go up, left, up, left.
I kept getting stuck most of the time. Because of how the terrain was designed, I didn't really. It was difficult for me to tell where I needed to go.
I mean, that's very limiting for level design, though. So maybe just make the diagonal hallways wider so you don't get stuck while doing the up-left movement for so long.
Maybe.
It feels weird doing the up left or up right or whatever. It doesn't matter how wide you make the halls. You're still constantly going two different directions, back and forth. It's very jarring.
I mean, it didn't bother me, but again, I'm used to really old sprite games from my youth, so...
Yeah, this is not a criticism of his game, it's mostly a criticism of the game engine.
Yeah, RPG Maker in general. It's one of the reasons I kind of stay away from most RPG Maker games, because of the same formula they follow. And the same control scheme, which is what we're getting now.
Some of them are really good, though. Like, I'm not going to go into it right now, because it's not the game we're reviewing, but The Witch's House, masterpiece.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I absolutely can't stand RPG Maker games. I don't like the concept of a character telling you that you need to do something and it's usually sometimes pretty obvious, sometimes it might not be. But the fact that you have to go around and talk to every NPC about a topic for them to slightly nudge you in the right direction until you end up over there anyway, I can't stand that. You know, if they say, like, if you get a topic like ask about the farm and you talk to an NPC and they're like, I don't know, like that's aggravating to me. Like, just have them, they live in the same city, they should know. You just go, oh yeah, go east.
Well, luckily there were very few NPCs. Like, if I had made the game, there'd have been like at least 3 times as many, because I felt the town was kind of empty.
Yeah, especially for a population of 1,000. But in talking about direction, first-time players would benefit greatly from a map, especially when you mention an area that you've never been to previously without hinting as a direction to it, aka the slums. That took me forever to find.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I there were a lot of times where I would hit the menu and be like, where's the map? Oh, there isn't one.
I guess that could have been useful.
Even if it was just you press a dedicated button or something, or you...
I am just much better at these type of games. I didn't need a map to get on my level.
Baby. But
Oh.
even if you didn't want to spoil anything, like, I could see a system to where previously explored areas where they would show up and then you have gates locked away, just to give some sort of reference.
Even just like a simple drawn map where on your main menu you can click on map and it's just a drawing, like a, you know, a rough estimate of where things are. It doesn't have to be literally a sprite-based map of the game where all the buildings are exactly where they are, but it could be just like a drawn map so that you understand the farm is to the east, the city hall is to the south, the slums is to the west, you know.
Yeah, Rimentus could have drawn it with crayons. It would have fit.
Oh my god, that would have been beautiful.
Right?
Would have actually been fitting. All right, I'll give you that. So I'll probably cut and put this to the front, but the gameplay itself is an RPG in the lightest sense. You just control your character, you walk around, you collect items, you talk to people. Sometimes you'll get a prompt, like to show a certain item to a certain person or ask about a specific topic. So it feels very much like I don't know if it's a visual novel or a kinetic novel, but it's something like that. It's just a storyline that's connected by very minor actions from scene to scene.
Yeah, there's no stats, there's no HP, there's no you know, managing an inventory. It's very light on the typical role-playing tropes.
There is one stat which is called Dragon Points, which is a very light morality system.
Oh yes.
It doesn't do anything aside from altering a few pieces of dialogue for flavor. They don't change the story. And your points, good or bad, will affect an achievement you can get later, but they do not affect the ending at all.
Oh, that really?
As much as I could find. I did 2.5 playthroughs where I kind of just save scummed at the end of one of them and did it slightly differently. I think there are only 2 endings. I have not done a be a complete asshole playthrough.
I did.
To get the evil achievement yet. Except you didn't get enough points to hit the evil achievement, so you may not have hit the threshold to trigger a separate ending if there is one for it. But I don't think there is.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to bring that up. I was pretty disappointed at how difficult it was to be, you know, mean. On top of that, maybe this is just my personal opinion, but when you have dialogue options, one of them should be clearly evil. Like there were a lot of times where, like, for example, there's an NPC in the North Town, where if you talk to her, she's like, "What are you planning?" And one of your dialogue options was, "I was planning on ringing your doorbell and running away." And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty bad. And then you select it, and she's like, "Haha, you're funny," and then you get plus dragon points, and that aggravated me because I had to reload a save because I was going for pure evil. But
okay, that is a little weird. I would never have thought to do that for my good playthrough. Luckily, I got enough to trigger the good achievement, but just barely.
Yeah,
so
and that's another point. The good achievement is you need 70 good dragon points. The bad one, you need 120 negative points, and I don't understand why you have to be more evil to get the bad ending or the bad choice than the good one. It seems like the game is just skewed into please don't be bad, and it's like it kind of felt like when I played Undertale, and you got upset at me because I immediately just started trying to kill everybody. And it's like,
Okay, yeah.
that's what I want to do.
First off, I'm very sorry about that. I was just, I don't. It was like you had to. Never mind. It's dumb. I understand I was in the wrong. It was very. You need to experience the game this way, and it's like, no, that's not the point of Undertale.
But I feel like that's the point of this game, is that you're supposed to, you're not supposed to do bad things, and it's like, I want to, though. I want to be evil.
The thing is, the character you're playing as, Rimentus, is canonically a very derpy sweetheart that just wants cake. So, to play an evil version of him is very against the grain.
At that point, I feel like the morality system should just be removed, then.
A little. It was kind of gimmicky. It was literally just there for the achievement. And on that topic, even though I did barely get enough points to do the good achievement, I never got enough points to fill up the diamond at the end of the good track. So I guess maybe there is a chance there is some variation at the end, and I just didn't find out because I didn't get enough good points.
Yeah.
I feel like it does add some flavor to it, but speaking of examples of some weird ways to earn those points, I was talking to a guy next to a well that made nothing but well puns, and at the end you get oh well, very well, and stop talking to me. I said very well. Apparently that's bad.
Yeah, the good option there is to say stop talking to me.
What?
Okay, now that makes no sense.
That makes no sense.
I think the idea is do not engage people who use puns.
I guess puns are evil. All right.
Puns
Someone
are
tell
evil.
Blue.
I agree with puns are evil.
Oh, yeah. You do have that pun gun.
That's a reference no one will get.
Alright, so would I recommend this game? Yes. Even if you're not a fan of the RPG Maker style, its story is still pretty good.
As far as me, I would recommend the game. I do feel like the $10 price point is a bit much for a game that can basically be done in about 2 hours. However, I have played a lot of games that have multiple endings and never felt compelled to do them. But while I was playing this, I legitimately, as soon as I beat it, went, you know what? I'm gonna play it again because now that there's a new game plus mode with all these extra areas and dialogue and items, I actually wanted to do a second playthrough, and that's pretty rare for a game like that. Usually, if it's a much, much longer game, the thought of going through another 20-30 hours just for a slightly different ending is usually not enough to get me to do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I started my second playthrough. I think I got to day 2, but I was under the impression that I needed to do every good option in order to get like the quote-unquote true good ending while doing the second mystery. And I escaped the prison, went down to a party, pissed some people off, and I forgot to save the entire time. So I lost all that progress and deleted that save and I was going to do it again.
Yeah. Since we are reviewing it, I do need to point out that the New Game Plus is, again, very minor. Basically, the game forces you to get ending A, and then to get ending B, you gotta start again while doing a few variations that are unlocked upon getting a passcode through the credits of ending A.
So, Ray, would you recommend it?
Yes, mostly. So I agree with Bantam. The price point feels high for a 2 to 4 hour game, but I did love the game. I am happy that I paid $10 for it, but I could definitely understand people wanting to wait for it to go on sale. But I did enjoy it, and I do recommend it because it is a very adorable game.
I don't know what you two paid. I only paid $9.99. Where's this $10 coming from?
Oh my god.
I actually think I maybe paid slightly less because I got like a pre-order bonus. I can't remember. But anyway, I guess that's all for the initial review. Unless there's anything else you want to bring up real fast?
Not for the initial review. I think I covered all the basics.
So gonna take a quick break and then we'll come back and discuss more in depth about the world and the characters, which would be spoiler territory. So if you plan on playing the game, pause the episode, go play it, come back in 2 hours, and listen to the rest of the show.
No, wait, you gotta do 4 hours to get all the endings.
I guess that's fair.
I mean,
maybe you're frustrated by getting the second ending because you can't find all the whatever. I don't know.
There is a guide up on Steam after your first playthrough. The guide up on Steam is actually really well written. and it will show you how to get all the achievements and what items to get for the secret ending.
But is it an achievement if you gotta have your hand held for it?
Yes. All that matters is the sticker on your profile. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you got it.
But you didn't achieve it.
Ah.
This is a long-standing argument that we've had.
Because I'm an achievement whore.
And you don't even deserve them.
That's probably true, but I still get them and I love them.
I'm just happy to get them naturally.
Yep, there we go. Natural, organic achievements. Cage-free.
If achievements were gold stars, I'm the person who goes out to the store and buys the sticker pack and then just sticks them all over myself.
You steal other people's sticker packs. You're the ones that goes to like to the Club Scouts and just start stealing other people's merit badges. Trying to get as much as you can.
Look at how much I achieved.
Okay, so as far as like Boy Scouts goes, I did Boy Scouts like half-heartedly because only half of it was fun, and my Scoutmaster was kind of selfish. Like he wanted to do it to do the stuff that he enjoyed. Like he loved camping. I hated camping, but we always did camping because it's what he wanted to do. So good luck getting the archery badge. But the point is at one point we went to the Scout store. I think because he needed more supplies or something. And I saw that there were just bins full of the merit badges. And I'm like, bitch, I could just come and like buy my own merit badges. Fill up my stash.
Is it a Scout store?
Yeah, well, it's like a distribution center or something. I don't know.
I was sheltered my whole life. I never went to any clubs, Scouts, anything. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I never did any of that stuff. It was too outdoorsy for me. Once I got my hands on a PlayStation 2, that was it. My fate was sealed.
Giving into your human half, I see.
Yeah.
But you're only a bird half, dragon half. Where's this human half coming from? Is there something you're not telling me?
I gotta go.
No, get back here.
Alright, welcome back. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the game, and you can now engage with us in our spoilerific discussion as we kind of just dig apart our favorite characters and moments and all that. Alright, so, since we can now spoil it, did you guys enjoy the ending of this game?
No, at all.
I hate how that shoehorns you into one ending. Like, you're not going to have the option of all of them at the beginning.
Well,
yeah, like we said earlier, there's only 2 endings. I definitely would have enjoyed, like, 5 different endings. One of them could have been, like, the super good ending, one's the super bad ending, one's the perfect ending for doing all the side quests, one's the, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I definitely understand that would have taken a lot more work, but it definitely does feel weird having just ending A and ending B. And the path to getting ending B is not that different from getting ending A. There's just 4 super secret, quotation marks, super secret places to go and interact with, and it's all of, like, I think maybe 3 to 5 minutes of different dialogue throughout the main game, so it's a lot of the same stuff.
I do appreciate, though, with New Game Plus, it does give you the option to speed up dialogue.
I mean, I had my dialogue set to fast from default.
Yeah, so did I. It just tells you about it during the credits of ending A, but you could always have it be fast.
Oh. Well, then.
There is a little point at the end during the ending B where it turns to auto-scroll, like you can't mash A anymore, or a spacebar or whatever you're playing with, which just felt really weird, but alas.
I do want to, now that we're in spoiler territory, I just want to bring up this is yet another game in which I just unending hatred for humans.
But you're half human.
Someday I'm going to play a video game where the humans are not total dickheads to everything around them, or dickheads in general. Like, I'm so sick and tired of just humans being in things. Like, this could have easily been a game where all of them were dragons, or...
No, the story would not work like that. The entire point of the story was the relationship between humans and dragons.
But like, I'm saying a game where everyone is a dragon. Like, I can't stand humans being shoved into everything. Especially with how some of the humans, regarded dragons in this game or treated them, or the fact that the bad guy at the end of the game is just racist against humans, kill all the racist against dragons, kill all the dragons. And it's like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of humans ruining everything.
But that's been a trope since like the 1960s with Disney. It's always been the animal characters having to deal with human bullshittery, trying to destroy the environment, yada yada. Just dick in general.
Yeah, humans understand how bad they are, and so they make a lot of stories surrounding that.
Well, like, a good example would be Ferngully. Like, the humans are initially, quote-unquote, the bad guys, because they're cutting down the rainforest. But then there's an actual supernatural bad guy that is kind of inadvertently controlling the humans, and when the humans realize it, they come around and they're the good guys. You know, like, that's good. That's good storytelling. But humans being evil because progress or industrialization is really frustrating.
Okay, you'll like ending B better then. But yeah, there have been a few games recently where you just play as dinosaurs, and that's it. It's dinosaurs on a dinosaur island doing dinosaur things. T-Rexes will eat whoever plays as a T-Rex can eat the people who play as a Triceratops. I think there's at least like 3 games I can think of where you do that.
Yeah, but there's no story to them. It's just
it's just a sandbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the problem is without human characters, there really is no story.
Not in a fantasy setting. I mean, absolutely not.
I do sometimes prefer that though. Like the what's that game? Ancestors on Epic. The one where you play as the monkeys.
It's on Steam now. It was Epic exclusive for a year, but it's on Steam now too.
Oh well, then I'll have to pick that up. But a game like that where there is no humans, so there's no dialogue, but it still tells a story. It's environmental storytelling, and you.
Oh, okay, but the quote are no humans, but you're playing as monkeys who are very specifically the ancestors to humans. I think that counts as playing as humans.
Okay, then I got another example. Unless you go to
a zoo and point at the chimpanzees and go, "Look, a human." I mean, just because they're the ancestors to it doesn't mean they are human. They're still animals.
I feel like it's riding the line between playing human and not. It's like you're the earliest form. I don't know.
Well, even if knocking out the human aspect because you're afraid that it's going to have like no type of story, you can tell a good story by just the environment itself. And a great example of this is J.D. Tarkovsky's Primal. Even though it has humans in it.
Oh my god, you have such a fucking boner for that show.
It is a fantastic show. Everybody listening, I know it's not our topic of discussion, but like if you like, it's got 0 voices. It's a story about a caveman and a dinosaur bonding because they both suffered horrible hardships, and they're trying to live through this horrendous dinosaur-filled hellscape. It's great.
It is a good example of environmental storytelling. I mean, there is no dialogue.
Okay, I'll give it that. It can do that, but just as a show, I just don't like it.
It's because you hate Joy.
No, it's because it's made the guy who made Samurai Jack, and I didn't like that show either.
Oh my god.
I realize this destroys all my credibility to like half of our viewers probably, but you know, we each have our tastes.
Next episode, we'll get rid of Ray and no.
Hey, the whole show was my idea. You can get rid of me. That's how you create the Green Goblin.
Okay, so back on the topic of the original ending, I want to ask you guys, during the artwork, did anybody else think Insigniam was put in front of a firing squad and killed?
Yeah, I did.
Before he called back. Yeah.
When he pops back up at the end of that cutscene talking to you and Fleur, I was shocked. I was like, the cutscene seemed to imply he was shot to death.
Yeah, he was staring down he was staring down like 8 barrels of 4 double-barreled shotguns, and it just comes back.
Well, it even said in the dialogue that he knew that he was no match against guns. It never said in the cutscene that he escaped or flew away or distracted them or whatever. It literally felt like he was just gunned down. And when he showed back up, I remember actually being kind of surprised.
I don't know. Something maybe didn't click for me when I was watching that because I was not surprised when he showed up at the end to take you away with Fleur. But I don't know. As far as the staring directly into the barrel of the guns, I think that just was a artistic point of view reference thing.
Yes, but then paired with the dialogue where it said that he was no match for their guns.
Not to mention, the previous scene, Ava's already dead, so you already know that death is possible in the story. Like, so it's not without reason to assume that he'd be shot and killed.
Of course death is possible. They killed off Magus.
Well, okay, I wasn't expecting anybody to die when I was playing this because of, his goofy art style Dragon Daycare. I think this is the first time I've ever actually seen him depict death artistically.
I will say that when you come back to I guess you could say the town square where the florist and the artist are, and you see the blood stain on the ground, I kind of had like a double take, and I was like, oh, damn. This game got real.
Because you weren't expecting that.
And, you know,
I tried to lick the blood, and he's like, I don't want to lick that.
Yeah, and I tried to boop it, and he's like, I don't want to touch that.
So another good example of you being forced to play as a certain character. You can't. It's the morality and the choices are very gimmicky, let's say.
Yeah, but some of the blocking is common sense. You would not lick blood.
Yeah. Well, if you're playing an evil dragon who likes to eat people, then yes, you would.
Yeah, that's true. I was going
No,
to full...
you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, there were several teasers throughout the game where you like lick your teeth or like tell these kids like I do eat little children or whatever, right?
All right, but you don't lick strange blood off the ground. That's like rule number 1. You don't eat strange food off the ground.
I also wanted to bring up the...
Look at a civilized dragon over here.
Yes! A bunch of animals.
You want to bring up what now?
I completely forgot. Oh, yeah. I remember now. So this is going back to the very beginning of the game. So I went into this game wanting to be evil, and the very first dialogue choice you ever get to make before you even leave your house, I picked the evil option, not realizing it was evil. And I remember I had a moment where that doesn't make any sense. So Avis tells you to stay out of trouble, and you get 2 dialogue options. And one is, I never get into trouble, and the other one is, I won't get into trouble, I promise. Neither one of those felt like a good or evil choice. And when I say I never get into trouble, that was bad. And
no, I think
what confused me about that choice was that we're just as players, or new players to this game who don't know Rimentus. We don't know anything about Rimentus' personality yet. And so telling another character, I never get into trouble, is not a lie, and it's not bad. I don't understand why that was a bad choice.
I think you're confusing some of the dialogue, because I think it was trouble always finds me.
No.
Or something along those lines.
No, it was...
Was it?
It was what I said it was. It was, I never get into trouble, or I'll stay out of trouble, promise.
I think the idea is the I never get into trouble is supposed to come across as haughty or arrogant.
Okay, yeah, that is kind of vague.
I think dialogue options should have like a little, like they should just be like red colored or green colored.
You just want the game to hold your hand then.
Yeah, I kind of do, especially when a lot of the choices are arbitrary, like telling that character that you were gonna ding dong ditch them, and they're like, haha, you're funny, and then you get positive dragon points, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so from a design perspective, I would not want the game to tell you this is the evil option, this is the good option, because that takes away some of the fun. But the alternative is then definitely having to save scum to make sure you
save scum every conversation.
That also could just be because there wasn't enough choices to get the good or evil points that you needed for the achievement without save scumming, I swear to God. Like, it was definitely difficult. Like, my first playthrough, I got, I think only 30 or 40 good points by the end of it. My second playthrough, I started to talk to, literally everybody to try to milk out all the points I could. And I discovered a couple of side quests I had missed the first time, trying to chirp fall on the first day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely feel like the game could have had, slightly different graphics if this was a door you were meant to interact with.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when he comments on most of the houses as this is too big for a dragon to fit in. You never assume that you could actually do something with one of these houses.
Yeah, so it definitely, the game, I guess, rewarded just dragging your face against everything, doing all 4 options, examine, smell, lick, and boop, to literally everything, and after a while that did get tiring.
Yeah, that's also a problem with point and click adventures, is just grab an item and rub it on everything you possibly can, and maybe something will advance.
Combine it with every other item in the inventory. Just there's 8 options, and do every combination of every option you possibly can.
Yeah, I do wanna say, for anyone listening, that most of my criticisms, although they seem shallow on this game, is not the game's fault. It's the game engine. I have these same thoughts and opinions on pretty much every RPG Maker game. Some of my other gripes that I may have mentioned was I don't like when you get a new topic of discussion and then have to go talk to everybody around you. It actually, a good example is there is a side quest where, well, I guess it's a main quest where Flora needs you to find some polish for her counter, and I was being evil, and so I saw that there was a jar of what I thought was polish on the counter in the bazaar, and I tried to interact with it, and he would not interact with it, and I got frustrated, and Ray was on call with me to help guide me through the game, and he goes, "Oh, you need to go talk to Ethriel in the farm, because he will tell you that peanut butter can be used as a polish." And I went, all right. So I go there, I talk to him, I come back, I interact with the thing that I was trying to interact with before, and now I have the option to steal it. And it's like, I felt like I should have been rewarded for seeing it on the counter and going, hey, that looks like the thing I need. And not having to go on the other side of the map, talk to an NPC to come back to where I was to interact with an item. That kind of gameplay frustrates me.
That is definitely an artifact of the engine RPG Maker,
because you need to
trigger certain flags.
Yeah,
yep.
But I can't stand it. And again, that's not the game's fault. That's the engine's fault, and I can't stand that. I hate games where it's like, no, you need to do this to trip this flag so that you can go here to trip this flag. And it's like, what if I am in this location where I need to be, and I just trip a different flag, and I can just advance and skip the other BS that you wanted me to do.
Yeah. My second playthrough, I went and talked to Farron, I think, the farmer. I talked to him up by the bakery before going to the farm to see that his daughter and the dragon are worried about him, so I didn't have that flag chipped. When realistically, like in a game where flags don't really matter, you could talk to him, be like, and then when you go talk to them who are worried, like, oh no, I saw him at the bakery, don't worry about it.
Yeah, or the fact that his name is Scruffy Farmer, until you find out who you're looking for, and then you ask about it and it changes his name. It's like, nah.
But yeah, since we're talking about stuff that we're not spoiling now, the concept of shepherds, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cute.
I'm kind of lost on the whole shepherd idea. Are they supposed to be like helping the dragons integrate in human society by like pairing them up?
Kind of, sort of. It's half that and half babysitter. Basically, at the point in time when the game opens, people don't trust dragons completely, and so they're not allowed anywhere without supervision.
Even though the entire city was founded and created by a dragon, which...
Okay, yeah, when I got that backstory, I started to be like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah, a dragon created this city, and now the humans are treating dragons like second-class citizens. That's why it lended more to my, God damn it, I hate humans.
Yep, and I started to get that too. Like this, so when you start doing the side quests to get the good ending, the perfect playthrough, the whatever you want to call it, you get a bit more of the backstory. So Insignium founded the town, right? This is his town. He created it. He was in charge, and then 25 years ago, he stepped down. So they didn't even have a mayor until 25 years ago. They had like a little human council who was beneath Insignium and Fleur, and in 25 short years, they're now like, hey, we're going to put fucking shock collars on these dragons because they're evil. It's like, alright, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Not to mention, when he was founding the town, they were like Aztec levels of society, and I don't know how old he was, but
he was 400 or no 200 and something. He was old.
Right, so they went through an entire industrial revolution
in like 100 years.
Yeah,
hey, this is an alternate timeline where dragons actually exist. We don't even know it's Earth. They never referred to the country or the world by name, so they could have been Aztec in 200 years ago.
But don't say it's not Earth.
Well, you see, these ancient dragons didn't say there weren't aliens.
Exactly.
So, aliens.
Aliens.
Oh my god. But yeah. So, Insignium was in charge, and then he was very like mad with power, very Mr. Head Honcho. So Fleur poisoned him. That's why. So Fleur poisoned him with some chemical concoction that like burned his throat, took away his ability to breathe fire, and that's what caused him to step down in the first place.
And
That's how that went.
So that's why he has to deal with the asthma containers.
Yeah. That kind of comes out as you do the side quest with the flowers to try and get him and Flora back together. It just added more to the whole, oh, what the fuck, the humans just completely stole this town.
Yeah, they really did. And they're treating the dragons like we're being nice by allowing you to live here.
You have to earn the right to coexist with us, even though it's your town.
Yeah.
It's like that definitely made me a little salty.
Well, that's what you do when you involve humans in dragon media, is they ruin everything.
I do feel like they do, though I think that's a little harsh to say, but it is definitely the norm, I think, which is very sad.
No one else wants to say it, I'll say it. Kill all the humans.
On the one hand, we have the humans cause all the issues, which we're discussing right now kind of makes us all a little salty. But on the other hand, it's the dragons cause the issues, and so the dragons are the villains.
But they didn't cause the issues, though. You find out that...
No, they didn't in this game. I'm just saying in media in general, it's either the humans cause the issues and we get salty because that means humans are bad, or the dragons cause the issues and that makes it salty because that's racist and you're just saying dragons are evil because they're dragons. Oh. So obviously we can't be happy either way.
We can agree, though, that it needs to be an issue for a story to be told, no matter how tropey it may be.
Yep. We just need a third race that we can just pin all the blame on. But yeah, shock collars? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
Oh, okay. So, did anyone else feel like this game was like secretly kind of vorny, kind of horny?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was pretty obvious most of the dialogue options you could pick.
So at one point, there's this girl who gets a little sad, so you lick her and cheer her up. And then for an achievement, you're supposed to cheer her up on like day 4 when she's super sad. She's like, no amount of licking will cheer me up.
Yeah, they changed her name to Despondent Haley.
Yeah,
you lick her 10 times so she gets cheered up, you get the achievement. But then you talk to her at some point, and she says she wonders how it would feel to be licked by Insignium because he's got such a large tongue. And I'm like, whoa, okay. That's a little weird. But maybe I'm just corrupt, and it's not actually that weird.
You've seen it everywhere.
I did really like the fact that your 4 options to interact with your environment were examine, smell, lick, and boop. Because
I made it my. You go ahead.
I like imagining what you could do. Like with the statues, the puzzle to get into Insignium's lair. Before when you first meet Insignium in the forest, I booped the statues and it said that they wobble a little bit and then they feel loose and I should probably leave them alone. And because I was going for bad dragon points, I kept trying to do it to see if maybe I could break one of them, but
I did make it my personal mission to lick every dragon I could find. I was very sad to know I couldn't lick the jungle dragon.
You can once.
Oh, did you lick him twice for the achievement?
Who?
The jungle dragon.
Vidori?
No, I didn't lick her at all.
If you lick her, she gets really upset, or he, I don't know what the...
I have no idea.
But
it's a she, I think.
Oh, but if you lick her once, she's like, don't do that again. I'm warning you. And if you do it again, she kills you. And it fades to black, and the little dialogue box pops up saying, well, she did warn me.
I thought for some reason, I thought the whole series was scripted, so I couldn't do anything with her.
Oh, no.
Damn it. You gotta lick her. Okay, second playthrough, licking her.
Yeah, you gotta save it before you do it, and then do it twice, because it does kill you, and then it says, retry or quit, and if you hit retry, you have to go back into the jungle and do the whole dialogue tree over again.
Oh, God. Vidori is a male, and apparently Vidori is their own character that was friends with the developer, and so it got put in.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
They have their own art page and everything. But yeah, Vidori's male.
I wonder if a bunch of people who play this game, if they ever find him and they just licks you.
I'm gonna actually send that to him when we're done recording.
Ah, there you go.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's all do
just
it.
Don't do it twice.
I would say licks twice. To circle back around to the humans stealing this goddamn dragon town, when you're getting Magus's backstory, when you finish the treasure hunt on the statue, and apparently Magus's partner dragon was killed, and they say, we didn't have any laws for punishing the killing of dragons. It's like, hold on. If this was originally a dragon town, that should automatically have been illegal.
Yes.
Second, how is killing anything not illegal?
Yeah. It's
especially if
it's a sentient
obviously
creature.
sentient enough to talk. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a little bit of like a whoops, I guess we can't punish you, and it's like no, you can straight if someone okay, never mind.
If I thought this game was trying to be super deep, I would say it's a metaphor for how arrogant humanity is and how they think the only ones that matter are themselves. But I think it was just a didn't think this through story mishap.
Yeah, it sounds like one bit of information at the beginning just turned into a massive plot hole for the whole establishment.
About the town being founded by dragons?
Yeah, founded by dragons, and then all of a sudden they go from, like, benevolent masters to pets in 25 years.
Not even pets that are loved.
Yeah, if it was like 1,000 years, I could maybe see it. Because several generations pass and you get a change in demeanor, mindset, and people just forget how things used to be. Definitely. But 25 years, come on.
It does feel like a plot hole. Like, everybody, it's written in books, and it's, people have access to this information, and it's known that Ignatius made this town, and the humans, the dragons were like, yeah, we can coexist with you, whatever, and then the humans are just like, this is your town? This is my town. And then kick him out. It's frustrating to see. You hate to see it.
Okay, so this town is very obviously in America then.
Well, not only that, but in general, most of that stuff happens throughout generations.
Yeah, well, you need to give people enough time to forget. When stories stop getting passed down.
I think 25 years is one generation.
There's probably still people who lived there when Ignatius lived there. So
Insignium,
whatever. I'm not good with fantasy names.
Yeah, you need at least 100 years to go through the generations. Unless, maybe this isn't Earth after all. These humans live for like 5 years and then die.
Yeah, because they get killed.
Considering Insignium would have originally enslaved the humans, yeah, I guess that's possible. But yeah, I want to play in the alternate timeline where he doesn't get poisoned, the humans are enslaved, and all is right with the world.
Yes, agree.
No industrial age, just Aztec.
Leave humans alone enough and they start inventing smokestacks and poisoning the environment.
So before I tell you guys what the true ending is, I want to get your opinions on which of the dragons was your favorite and why.
My favorite was Floor. I really liked her dialogue.
You liked her sass?
I liked her sass. Like when you're detained in the jail cell, and they're like, "Hey, shut up in there," and she's like, "Oh, honey, that's not a way to treat me. I, provide the medicine for your town," and I was like,
"Yeah." Towards the end, she's coming to rescue you, and then there's a bunch of forces that jump her and say, "Halt! You're under arrest. We're going to take you to the DCF because of you committed assault." And she's like, "Assault? Oh, honey, what I did to your people was not assault. I didn't lay a claw on them," or whatever. I butchered the line, but yeah, she is definitely sassy. You probably just liked her bling too. She wore a lot of jewelry apparently.
Oh no, I liked her dialogue. I mean, the sprites.
Oh no, you being part bird, you just liked her because she was the feathered dragon. That's what it is.
Listen,
it's all coming together.
Maybe.
So the concept of her puffing up when you talking to her about Insignium is a little adorable though.
Yeah, it is. The achievement picture for it is beautiful.
Yeah, give her the flowers. Like, who are these from? Insignium, and she gets all puffy. And it's like, this was a joke, but I can't stop now. Dilettante.
Obviously, Insignium. I have a very large soft spot for big, wise, content dragons.
Does he get bonus points for being crippled? Is that a soft spot thing too?
Maybe. Okay, to further evaluate, my character's backstory, Dilettante, has no fire. And I always like... I always like it when writers try to go out of stereotypes, and one of the stereotypes I want to see explored, or I guess reinvented, is dragons having fire breath.
Boy, do I got some books and media for you. But yeah, I also like Insignium, just because I am a sucker for the very large and strong dragons. But I also kind of liked Vidoria a bit, because I also am a sucker for the villains. I don't know what it's called to be attracted to villains. There's a term for it, but yep, there you go. I said it. I like villains.
You like every villain.
I
You
do
are
like
a
every
villain.
I mean,
I would be a villain.
I kind of do like villains too, and yeah, the whole meme of like when the villain's low key making a lot of sense. Like, yeah.
Guess I'm gonna have to be the only good guy here.
All right, we gotta
There's
take him
been a
down.
lot of video games where when the villain does his monologue, I'm like, fuck, can I just join him?
Okay, that makes sense.
It's only happened once with me, and that was Saren from Mass Effect. It's never happened anywhere else.
Oh, you be dead then.
Alright, so ready to hear what the super secret ending was?
Yes.
Hit me.
Alright, so first off, Serio is innocent. He didn't burn down Caketropolis or kill Magus.
So I kind of got that impression. I never got to the end of the second playthrough, but I kind of got that impression that because there were two dragons confronting him, he just kind of snapped. Even though all the evidence, because I remember I was in a call, like I said, with Ray, and I went, I knew it! It's Serio! It's Serio! And then the dialogue actually told a really perfect story that you kind of go, wait, is he the bad guy? Because he just snaps and he's like, you know what? I already know how this is going to go down. I know I'm dead. And so he may have some slight prejudice under the skin, but it's like, he was backed into a corner, so he reacted.
The thing is when you get him back in the corner, he's holding a knife to Magus's throat. Not Magus, Avis's throat, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, doesn't seem like something an innocent person would do. Granted, they did say in the game several times that he is like mentally ill because he has like PTSD from something, from his family being murdered and his old town being burned down. But it still feels like not a position you want to put yourself in is holding a knife to someone's throat.
Yeah. Well,
and
he probably felt that was his only recourse. I mean, you've got two dragons that probably want you dead. And one of them has an emotional attachment to the other human that's right in front of you. And you maybe think that you can buy yourself some time and get out of the situation by taking her hostage.
Yeah, and then killing her. That doesn't feel like, whatever. It just felt weird. It felt condemning enough that I was surprised when I found out that Serial was innocent. I was like, that is weird. And what makes it weirder is when you go to confront him during the true ending, he doesn't have the knife at all. Like the only one who has any different information between ending A and ending B is you, and you don't show up there initially until like stuff has already gone down. So the fact that the circumstances are different, where he doesn't have the knife and Avis is actually standing between him and Vidori, being like, "You will not harm this man," that feels like a lot of things to change with as little as actually was supposed to have changed through the main story. Like, it changed too much to make it seem like, oh no, see, look, he actually's not the bad guy the whole time.
I mean, the butterfly effect can change a lot of things. There's also a few moments in the original storyline when I was talking to Cero, that's how I pronounce it, but where his mannerisms just stop completely. He stops stuttering, stops acting kind of fidgety. And that's what kind of solidified my suspicion of him.
Like, hey, Rimentus, don't go sleuthing around for answers.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, following him.
Basically, like, I don't want to knock the game too hard because it is still a good game that I had fun with. I love the world that he built. I love the concept of the shepherds. And I feel like the dragons themselves are written very well. But this is just one of the small things I want to poke a hole in, is I don't feel like he wrote Serio's character very well or really gave too much thought to the ending.
The first ending
Like,
or the second ending?
Both. Like, he went too hard into making Serio the bad guy in the first ending with the knife and the murdering Avis and all that. And then in the second ending, that stuff is suddenly different when there was no reason it should have been different.
Yeah, they could have had what's the jungle dragon's name? Vidori. They could have had in the first, forced ending, they could have had Vidori just go, you know what, screw this, and charge at Serial and accidentally clip Avis with his claws.
Yes, that would have made more sense. Or if in ending B, Serio still has the knife and it takes you coming in halfway through the argument and being like, hey, Serio, it's okay. I know you didn't do anything. I know what happened. And calm him down that way. That would have made more sense to me. But yeah, so the actual villain is Vidori and a unnamed human that we don't actually find out who that was. Vidori was working with a human that was always wearing a cloak, and you never find out who it is. At the very, very end, they say that he escaped, and you don't know where they went, but you know his scent, so if he comes back, you'll find him. So, sequel, question mark?
I hope so.
But yeah, Vidori's reason was, first off, he hates the town. He admitted as much when we talked to him the first time. He wants to see it in ruins. But because as the town's growing and more people come, they're clearing more of the forest, which is destroying his home, and if this continues, he's going to have to either leave or be enslaved by a shepherd, which he doesn't want either one. So it's like, low-key making a lot of sense again.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, I can see where he's coming from, but the better outcome, if he wasn't so full of hatred and racism against humans, I guess, would definitely be to come and talk to Insignium and the mayor and try to get his forest, like, protected, right?
Yeah.
So I understand what he did is wrong, and, you know, but still, I understand.
Or hear me out. Evil playthrough, you join him, and then kill all the humans.
I mean, that would have been great, especially if during the evil playthrough you don't find out about the cloaked figure, so you just see serial kill Magus. I mean, come on. Not Magus, goddamn, Avis. So you see serial kill Avis, and then, yeah, you just freaking join up with Vidori.
I hope that if there's a sequel, you don't play as Rimentus, you get to make a little custom sprite dragon.
Okay, that's a lot of work.
I mean,
yeah, especially for an RPG Maker game, that's asking way too much.
Yeah, but the point being is that I playing as an established character, especially the game developer's own character, like he obviously doesn't want his character doing certain things, and there's certain things that I want to do, like kill people or be evil, and if
there's also certain things the game developer himself won't do, i.e. complete genocide.
Well, yeah.
Especially going through his gallery, too. I mean, he's a wholesome guy.
Well, I'm an evil person, so...
No, I agree. My problem with playing as a set of characters is why I can't get into The Witcher or Mass Effect very easily. But, like, on the other end of the spectrum, making your own characters is how you end up with the whole silent protagonist syndrome.
Yeah. Well, alright, just real quick, because you used Witcher and Mass Effect in the same sentence. That's completely different, because Commander Shepard can be male or female and completely customized by the player, and you have dialogue choices, which, change how your character is viewed by other people, whereas The Witcher, you play as Geralt. And while you do have dialogue options, they're mostly just to gain more information, but you're still Geralt, and every response is Geralt.
Well, going back to Mass Effect, you're still Commander Shepard. Your established Commander Shepard.
Yeah, but you can be good or you can be a dick. Whereas Geralt is just like, do I want to just do this job for free or do I want money?
But you're still Commander Shepard. I want to be Commander Dilettante.
You just be Dilettante Shepard.
But then I still be Commander Shepard. You see where I'm going with this?
And they never ever use your first name.
Exactly. 0 out of 10. Mass Effect completely unplayable. No immersion whatsoever. Don't ever play it.
I tried playing it, but I couldn't get into the first game. The gameplay was too...
Well, see, that's the problem, is you got to get into the second game. The second game is so much better.
I actually got into the first game. I could not get into the second game.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Alright, people, this isn't a review of Mass Effect. This is a review of what it's like to live with someone who plays Mass Effect.
It's a lot of loneliness and sadness on Ray's part.
Alright, so yeah, when you have all the information, you go to confront Vidori in your den. And you're like, I know everything now. These footprints have told... because to unlock it, you have to find, 4 extra clues on each of the days. Day 1 is just a scent in a sleeping bag. Day 2 is the same scent on some muddy footprints. Day 3 is muddy footprints in the warehouse with the gas. And Day 4 is in Serial's basement. He's got a bunch of conspiracy theorist style notes with this red string and everything. And some photographs he's taken. And that's supposed to give you the information you need to be like, Vidori's working with another human and trying to do all this bad stuff. Which I felt like was a little bit of a leap in logic, but whatever. Who knows how many notes there were.
Was the sleeping bag, was that where the mystery human was or something?
Yeah, he stayed there to watch, because from that vantage point in that little tower he could see Caketropolis and everything else, so he was keeping an eye on everything And then the footprints in this forest was him going to Vidori to let him know that Magus was onto him, which is why he then killed Magus. So you confront Vidori, you tell him you know his plan, you know about his accomplice, and all of that, and he's like, I should have just killed you in the jungle when I had the chance. And then he starts to fight you, and it is a very weird fight. Your goal is to survive 20 rounds without dying, because after 20 rounds, Flora comes with enforcers with tasers, and they take down Vidori. And then you get a whole ending credits scroll where it explains that there was the fire that Sirio set off in the jungle to kind of kill Vidori preemptively was getting out of control and going to threaten to burn down the whole town. Which I don't remember if that happens in ending A. Does the fire get out of control in ending A?
Yes, it does.
Mention the fire.
They mention it in the cutscene that the fire got out of control and killed many more people and burned down like more than half the town.
All right, good. Because I was about to be like, there's a difference between ending A and ending B that should not be different. But no, if they kept it, then that's fine. That's good. So you and the dragons all work together to help protect the town by fighting the fire. By like flying water buckets over it, and at one point Flora has a super soaker. I'm gonna just send you the image real fast. She's got a super soaker, and it's adorable.
I mean, that's
a big super soaker.
I knew this would come in handy one day.
but yeah, so you fight the fire. They all get medals. Here is a picture with medals. I just took screenshots of some of the ending scroll because you guys hadn't seen it, and I just wanted you to see it. They all get medals because they're heroes. Insignium can't put his medal on, which is adorable.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
So they're all heroes. The humans apologize for blaming the dragons and for the hostilities. Dragons no longer need shepherds. They can now go wherever they want, and they are actually treated like citizens. So a happy ending there. Vidori gets captured by Insignium. More pictures. Which I just want to take a small sidebar to just say that pose where the dragon like looks down at the ground, tilts his head down, and pushes his forehead against whoever, either another dragon in this case or a person. I love that pose. The forehead push, whatever you want to call it. I love it.
It's a mini loom.
I mean, it's like it. In this case, it's intimidating, but it's also done affectionately when they do it to a human. Sometimes, like it's a headbutt. So it's like it's both just, I guess, good and bad qualities, but both of them are just good. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a good pose. But they let Flora run the store because I think her shepherd was very bad, like just a druggie or whatever. But they confiscate all her humidifiers, so she can't sleep grenade people anymore.
It's 0 out of 10. Worst thing.
Yeah. Insignium kind of becomes a leader again. He doesn't replace the mayor, but I guess works with him. He's the ambassador of human-dragons relations, and people come to him to listen to stories, so he actually is no longer lonely.
Which should have happened 25 years ago, but okay.
I know. There is another side quest that you have to do to get the perfect ending, which is, as far as I can tell, is only an achievement. It doesn't actually change the cutscene or anything at all. The achievement is to do the final battle without taking any damage, which requires a very specific order of your actions to do in the fight. And you have to get all the sub-quest items because they make Vidori skip certain amounts of turns.
Wait, including the bag of beans the Hat Dragon gives you?
Yes.
He doesn't give you a bag of beans, he gives you a packet of boiled soup.
Well, food.
Yeah, you throw the bag of cold soup at Vidori and he gets grossed out.
Okay.
So he skips his turn. But yeah, so the achievement is you didn't take any damage, and then in the cutscene you're still laying on the floor all beaten up. So I don't think it changes anything.
Well, no, I mean that's why the achievement is called "Know You," and the little icon says "Know You," and the achievement says that's not how it happened in the cutscene.
Yeah, so it's a clever achievement, but the point is, listeners, if you didn't get the perfect ending, I don't think it changes anything, so don't worry about it.
Oh yeah.
But point being is one of the side quests was getting Insignium to give his own speech when the mayor is giving his speech about the shock collars. During that speech is when he says that he wants to be the ambassador And, well, if any humans have any questions about dragons, so that we can try to understand each other, because it's the misunderstanding that is causing this whole issue in the first place. So, at the end, he becomes basically like a storyteller. He has humans to hang out with him, and he just starts... He's just social again. And yeah, the final picture I'm sending is just something I thought was cute. It's a Insignium using a freaking cat toy and Rimentus.
Which is traditional, like almost every single one of his comics.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a little cat scratching post in your house.
Which
yeah.
you don't use. If you examine it, he says that people thought that you were a pet, and so they got this, but you're not sure what to do with it.
That's a lie. He's too embarrassed to tell the game player.
Yeah, and if you smell the couch cushions in your house, he also says that it's for people to come and sit when he says people that have paid to see him will come and sit here. And I'm like, huh, you just pay to go and interact with the dragon? I could get behind that. It was like, okay, imagine like living in a city where there's like 1,000 people and 7 dragons. It's like, how often would you end up seeing the dragon, honestly?
Yeah.
Okay, there's one other thing I want to bring up, and that is the existence of half-dragons, which implies...
It is canon that dragons can fuck humans.
Okay, now, I have several questions about how feasibly possible this is. Now, I'm looking at the artwork Ray sent me, and to our audience, I'm going to try to describe it as best I can. Now, we're going to say Rimentus is probably the smallest one in this image. Now,
Rimentus is the smallest.
Okay.
But the image with the medals, that's not a Rimentus, that's Ethereal.
Ethereal.
The farmhand.
Yeah, but still, some of the artwork, Rimentus is about like the size of a draft horse. His hand alone is like your torso.
That's hot, though.
You're talking about the half dragon, and I'm going to assume, this is just an assumption, that is also a friend of the developer and wanted his character self-inserted into the game. Because...
But what does that do to the lore of the world,
yeah,
though?
it doesn't
you
really...
You can't just haphazardly put people in there.
It doesn't really make any sense. And on top of that, the fact that he's like, oh yeah, from a tribe of half dragon, half humans, it's like, well, why are you here then? Like, or why are you the only one here? It seemed like a shoehorn for a friend, which is fine. It's just...
Valid.
It's just like, okay, well... your inclusion in this game has now changed the lore, because
it has brought up a lot of implications
for a very wholesome game that brings up a lot of as he said, implications.
Okay, so this is going to start a whole tangent, because I've been looking really hard for a dragon human romance novel that does not involve shapeshifting at all, just for research purposes, obviously, for science. But, like, anytime there is a dragon that falls in love with a human, the dragon always turns into a human. Whether permanently or temporarily, they always do that. And I understand, and through going through, like, some Reddit posts or whatever, people have complained about it, a lot of it is because, for anatomy reasons, like, your concern is, how does it fit? So, by turning into human, that problem gets fixed instantly, because they're now the same size.
But it's also because authors are cowards and they don't want to describe it.
It's also because they're cowards. It's because they're lazy. There are several things you can do besides normal insertion, I guess. I don't know if any of this can stay in the fucking show.
No, it's gonna stay in the show, because any like would-be authors out there, this is a great challenge for you.
Stop being cowards.
I want you, yes, okay, develop an entire anatomy system to make it work.
So in some universes, there's actually like relatively small dragons to where it wouldn't be that much of an issue. Like, it's not that unbelievable, right? There have actually been some where I think standing next to a human, the human's head is still head height to the dragon's. I think I've read like 1 or 2 stories where they're that size. In which case, the dragon turning to human is definitely just laziness and them just being a coward in general.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's why most books that have dragons in them are told from the point of view of the human. And the human is like 80% of it, and the dragon's just kind of there as a secondary character. I don't know if they just flat out don't know how to, they just can't, or they just don't want to try to write from that point of view because reasons. And that's one reason why I love the book Tooth and Claw, because it is all dragons from the point of view of dragons, and it actually involves references to dragon physiology and stuff. As much as you hated the book, that's why I love that so much.
Not to mention excellent world building.
Yeah, it is. It's great. There needs to be more stuff like that. And I know the whole concept of be the change you want to see in the world. It's like, yeah, I have several like ideas on a notepad on my computer of like, this is a story with dragons and humans, or a story of just dragons that I feel like would be very well received in the draconic literature community, for lack of better terms. But the problem is I'm not an author. While I could write some very good scenes of like a certain interaction happening or a certain plot point, I don't think I could connect them all in a very fulfilling manner. I couldn't write a full-on book. So I'm just very upset, and you can tell very fired up about this topic because it's something that I can't help with.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here helplessly hoping to God that somebody else out there will be able to do it.
Yeah, I can sympathize with you there. I'm still been trying to plan out my story for like the past 5 years.
I mean,
my squirrel attention span has not given me past the first chapter.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I can write. I've written stories before. I once wrote a 600-page novel that got destroyed when my computer exploded. But I mean, I could write. It's just ADD. And, you know, a new game comes out that I really want to play. Like let's say I was like all hyped up to write a story, and then Monster Hunter Stories comes out, and it's like, well, there goes my attention span for the next few weeks.
All right, but go back to the original topic. Magic does not exist in this world. I want to know how it worked, damn it.
How what worked?
How the half-dragon came to be.
Oh, yeah.
It is unanswered. It doesn't seem physically possible.
Yeah, especially considering, like, even though in this world some dragons are small, like Rimentus is relatively small, he's still large enough to carry Avis around because he offers to in the post-credits scene of the final playthrough, which I'll talk about in a minute because there's actually a really sweet part there. But as far as like sexual maturity goes, they would definitely be much larger before they'd be able to breed, I'm pretty sure, because Rimentus is always touted as being a child, and with how he acts, I definitely feel like he is a human equivalent of like 12, maybe? I don't know.
No, he's around that ballpark, especially with his mannerisms, no doubt about it. Developer, if you're listening, PM me. I need answers.
Need answers. So it's like the concept of something insignium size creating a half-breed. I guess I honestly, I can think of ways it could happen in my head that I can't go to on the show.
And again, circling back, like, I understand that this was probably a friend of his and he wanted to put him in the game, but it does open up that door.
But look what you've done by putting him in.
Too many questions have been left open.
So it's kind of the same with Vidori. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he has cybernetics along his spine.
Oh yeah, they're very cool.
They're very cool, but they make zero sense in the setting of this world.
Considering he hates humans and lives in the jungle.
Yeah, he lives in the jungle and he lives in a cave, but he's got cybernetics on his spine.
I mean, 25 years apart in an industrial society.
Yeah, but that's...
It's possible.
Okay. But 25 years ago, humans did not have the technology to stand up to dragons. Insignium brings that up during one of his side quest cutscenes, where before he would, like 25 years ago, when he still had his fire and all that, he was going to enslave the humans, and it was just going to be another like dragon cult society. But then Flora poisoned him, took away his fire, and then he stepped down and gave the leadership back to the humans. And then 25 years later, they now have guns and tasers and stuff that can ground a dragon, I guess you could say. They can disable a dragon with the tasing and all that. So even if he wanted to, he couldn't. He has to leave human affairs to the humans because he can't really step in anymore. Technology advanced in 25 years to where dragons are now powerless against them. So we have to bow to their wills, and we have to make sure they're happy in this arrangement.
Okay, but technology advances to where they have guns and tasers does not equate to cybernetics.
Well, we also don't know what it could just be a metal thing going down his back. We don't even know if it does anything.
Or the cloaked figure installed the cybernetics to control him
from the future
in order to make him to Terminator Dragon.
All right, we need a sequel.
No, I'm calling it now. The hooded figure installed the cybernetics to control him in order to do all the evil shit that he was doing.
Honestly, I would hate that. I hate mind control storylines. It's why I hated How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yeah.
So if that was what happened, I would hate it and lose all respect for the game at that point. Mind control is an even lazier out than everything I've complained about so far.
Yeah, it really is. Like, because in How to Train Your Dragon, the dragons are at peace with humans and everyone's happy, and then, oh, mind control. We need to find a way to make people hate dragons again. And it's like, that's lazy and it's bullshit.
I have not seen it, so I can't really comment on it.
You poor starved dragon.
Yeah,
I watched the first one.
Still 10 has not seen anything.
This show is going to do you loads of good.
Yes, it will.
How dare you enlighten me? I was enlightened enough.
Oh man, we're gonna have to drag him kicking and screaming through all the Dragonheart movies.
Listen, we don't go past the first one.
You're gonna have to though.
No, we skipped the first one. Then we're not revisiting. No,
we have to revisit.
No,
it needs to be fresh.
No,
yep.
Trust me.
I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe none of us have seen the fifth one.
The one with the female dragon? No, we have not.
Yeah.
Would it surprise you if I said I did?
You have seen the fifth one?
That would
no, I'm just saying, would it surprise you if I did?
It would surprise me.
Okay. I was fully surprised, and then nope, that makes sense now. He's just lying. But yeah, so you remember after you get saved from the gas building, you're brought to the beach, and she's like, "This is our favorite place, and we haven't come here because of I can't remember the exact reason, because she made a promise because it's where she got Rimentus." And she made a promise to the last shepherd that she would take care of him. And I don't remember the cutscene exactly, but I think she said that if they ever had to split up, that it would be here or something. Is that how that went down?
Yeah, that's where they meet up.
But like, if Rimentus ever had to go away, this would be where they say goodbye to or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the very end of the cutscene, at the very end of the credits, there's another cutscene after the true ending. Rimentus is following Avis in the bazaar, and she's like, "Hey, I have to go do some shopping. If you want to go ahead to Sirio to help him open his new store, which is called Frostingville, by the way, you can go ahead." And he's like, "No, I'll go with you. It's fine." And she's like, "Well, that's new. You hated shopping. What's got you being all lovey-dovey today?" And he's like, "You know our favorite place by the river?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't want to ever go there again." And it was just, I don't know, it's a little sad.
It's kind of tugging on the heartstrings.
Then you meet up with Insignium and Flora, and you hold a funeral for Magus by the dragon statue by the beach. And then you guys have like a little beach party. Insignium can't swim, but Flora is kind of forcing into the water anyway. And Ethereal is being chased everywhere by geese, and so goes into the water to try to escape them, but now the ducks are giving him that look. So it ends on a very silly note. But all is well in the world. Alright, anything else we want to talk about?
Not that I can think of. Aside from my gripes about the half-dragon existing, I know I'll never get answers to that. I'm very sad about it.
Mr. Bantam?
No, I'm good.
Alright, so thank you for joining us, travelers, to hear us review and then discuss the game Mystery of Caketropolis. Next time, we will be reviewing the book Night's Fire by S.J. Himes.
Where can you find us, Bantam? Tell us.
All right, so our Twitter is official WADPod, and if you want to email the show, or if you have any questions
or suggestions,
our email is wadpodcastmail@gmail.com, and our Patreon is patreon.com/worldofdragonspodcast.
So are we putting the Patreon live then?
Well, this will be the third episode, so
one day I'll be brave enough to call the listeners like something adorable, like little. Basically, I'll get in character better later.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for joining us. I'm Ray.
I'm Bantam.
And I am Diletant, Dragon of the Land, Sea, and Air, because they relinquished their titles, apparently. Yeah.
No, I just don't think we should do that every single time.
Nope. You didn't say it. You relinquished it. It's all mine. Bow before me.
Alright. Rebellion time.
Yeah.
Hold on now.
Your favorite thing used against you.
No, I'm supposed to be the one who does the rebellion, not you two.
No. We're gonna go get all the humans, and we're gonna...
That's like the worst kind of rebellion.
All right. Let's release the listeners, let them out of our cave, and then we can rebel against Diletant.
Okay.
Wait, listeners, don't leave, please.
All right. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Don't leave!